Hello and welcome to the Blackstone Solicitors channel. Today we're tackling a question that often causes confusion among homeowners, landlords, and property developers alike. Is there a time limit on boundary disputes? If you've ever wondered how long you have to challenge a neighbor over fences, hedges, or encroachments, this video will explain the legal framework and practical steps you can take to protect your property. Imagine this. You've recently moved into a home and noticed that your neighbor's fence appears to be slightly encroaching onto your land. At first, it seems minor and you think you'll deal with it later. Years go by, and the fence remains, gradually becoming a larger part of your garden. Suddenly, you ask yourself, can I still challenge this? Or is it too late? This is a question that comes up surprisingly often, and the answer depends on the type of land and the legal principles at play. In English law, the concept of time limits in property disputes is closely linked to limitation periods. For most civil claims, including those relating to property, there is a 6-year limitation period under the Limitation Act 1980. This means that, generally speaking, you have 6 years from the date you first become aware of a trespass or encroachment to bring a legal claim. After this period, your ability to enforce your rights may be severely restricted. However, when it comes to boundary disputes, there is another important rule to consider: adverse possession. If a neighbor has occupied or used part of your land openly, without your permission, and continuously for 12 years, they may be able to claim legal ownership of that land. This 12-year period can act as a kind of long stop, particularly for unregistered land, making early action essential. Consider a homeowner whose neighbor gradually extended a shed onto their land. Initially, the encroachment was small and went unnoticed. Over several years, the shed remained in place. If the homeowner had acted within 6 years of first noticing the encroachment, they could have issued a claim for trespass or sought to have the structure removed. But if 12 years pass without challenge, the neighbor could potentially acquire legal rights to that piece of land through adverse possession. It's important to note that registered land, which makes up the majority of properties today, has slightly different rules. Under the Land Registration Act 2002, anyone seeking to claim adverse possession of registered land must apply to the land registry after 10 years. The registered owner then has the opportunity to object. If they do, the squatter or encroaching neighbor usually cannot acquire the land without the owner's consent. Nonetheless, failure to act promptly can still make disputes more complicated and stressful. This is where boundary dispute solicitors, like those at Blackstone, play a vital role. We advise clients on their legal rights, help clarify the precise location of property boundaries, and take early steps to prevent encroachments from escalating. Acting quickly can prevent minor issues from turning into costly, long-running disputes. We also assist with negotiation, mediation, and, where necessary, court proceedings. The key is to understand the time limits and act decisively, rather than hoping the problem will resolve itself. A proactive approach often saves time, money, and emotional stress in the long run. So, is there a time limit on boundary disputes? Yes. In general, the 6-year limitation period applies for most claims, while the 12-year period for adverse possession acts as a long stop in certain situations. The takeaway is clear. Don't delay if you suspect an encroachment or boundary issue. Early action is essential to protect your property rights. At Blackstone Solicitors, we help homeowners, developers, and landlords navigate these complex issues with practical advice and expert legal guidance. If you're facing a potential boundary dispute, get in touch with our team. We'll help you understand your options and act swiftly to safeguard your property. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights on property law, construction law, and neighbor disputes.